Last time we took an E92 and gave it the glow up it deserved. But today we're switching things up a bit. I just bought this BMW E90 and the mission, flip it and climb one step closer to the ultimate goal, an M5. In the last episode we bought this BMW E92 for cheap. It was broken and neglected. Then we fixed it, put it back on the road, and we did it with one goal: to sell it, make profit, and get an M5. This is the state of the car right now. The entire interior is stripped out, so the carpets, everything is out of the car. The engine, it has the N46 2-liter petrol engine, or maybe it's 1.6, I'm not sure. But this is the engine that got replaced by the N43 that we did in the last episode. So this is the generation older than the N43. The engine is running, but there's an engine problem because there is, at least that's what he said, a problem with the Vana solenoids. So these two, so right now they are disconnected because they were malfunctioning or something like that. But we did start it and drive the car home. The reason that the interior is all stripped apart is because the previous owner was gonna build it into a crazy audio system car. So all this stuff here is sound deadening. Everywhere in the back and the front where he could get access to, he put sound deadening. What we're gonna do, probably just keep all of it and just put it all together with the carpets and stuff. We should have most of the parts in here and in the trunk, so the noise cancellation is gonna be pretty good with all this stuff inside. Another thing he did is he removed the entire battery terminal thing, so it doesn't have any kind of pyro fuse or the whole red box. This is on the battery, it's just cables connected together. He did that because he was going to replace the battery with a different type one for more power to the audio system. So we need to source the battery thing, get another battery, install all of it, and see how it comes out. This car is supposed to be super low mileage, around 146,000 kilometers. We should be able to sell it for a good sum of money, at least with this mileage. So now let's put cables and try to start it up with the 320i. Pop the hood.
Yeah, burn it down maybe.
Oi! Oh, never, I lied, it's 142,000 kilometers. Right up. Oh, it smells weird in here. Yeah. The ABS works. Behind the scenes of shooting a thumbnail.
You guys thought he's a photographer?
I never do the thumbnails.
And I don't even get paid for this.
Look at this beast. Holy cow, this car looks so good.
Oh, fuck, we have a good thumbnail, right?
Was that you?
Huh?
Was that your brakes?
Break. Go.
Did I hit it? Oh kurwa. I'm not close the door.
One more time, but you can't just...
I do have an entire battery terminal here. You can see that the entire thing is missing. By the way, I found out this car is not N46, this is actually N45 engine. This thing is together with the part of this, we don't need it. So now we need to connect these cables together. I need to get a negative battery terminal, but right now I want to check the Vana solenoids. I want to see the condition of them. They look clean and all, so I'm not sure if there's anything wrong with them, but I have some other second-hand ones that I picked up, so I'll just slap them in. This one is this one probably, and that one is the upper one. Or is it backwards? Now the engine seems to be running properly. I think I had them plugged in the wrong way because I spent a good long time and I couldn't fix it. I swapped them around, nothing helped. The engine was still running bad like in the last clip. I was getting codes for both intake and exhaust Vanas. And I was about to strip the valve cover off and check the timing. Then I read on a forum that many people have this problem after replacing the timing chains or doing any work on the engine that consists of messing around with the Vana system. And many people say that you have to reset the Vana's adaptions, then the engine relearns it again on its own. So that's what I did. I deleted the adaptions for the Vana system and the complete engine. Then I started the car, and now the car seems to be running properly. It doesn't throw engine codes anymore. There's a bunch of codes for the ABS system because all the belts is not connected, the seats is not plugged in, but no engine light, only airbag. Engine has been idling now for probably 20 minutes and it runs good. I get ahead of myself, but it'll be the first time we don't need to do any engine work. Maybe we will, I don't know, we will see. With the battery plugged up on cables, I need to get a negative terminal for the battery before we can put it inside. Oh shit, the belt is still here. Okay. A good start. Before we put the seats in, I am gonna vacuum it. That's why I'm with shoes. Right now there is some cables broken here. That just got ripped, so I'm gonna bring the soldering iron and fix it. We'll do that, and we need to put in the subwoofers. Which one is which? I ain't got no idea. Let's try to put in the carpet. Never mind, we need to undo the pedal first. Okay, usually the carpet is together here, but in order to remove it easier, they just cut it. I think we should be able to put it together, no problem. Okay, now you wouldn't tell that there's 10 kilograms of sound deadening stuff inside. So this is the interior right now, fully together. Took a while, but I mean, looks as it should, simple. Then I also put in a battery. The car is running right now. And I did delete the code, so the airbag light is gone and the ABS light is also gone. Last date is 2020 August, June. So that's the last recognized date in the car. So this car has been off the road for some good time. I'm also gonna reset the service lights right now, and then we will take this car to the inspection to get it inspected, and then we'll get a paper of what we need to fix, what they find on the car, and then we can replace the oil and replace the filters and stuff. Now it's not a single light, not a single warning on the dash. And I just want to flush the car, and then tomorrow I have an appointment with the workshop for inspection. Bruh, what is happening, bruv? That's not good. I have been to inspection, but the car is messing up like crazy. So we're back from the inspection, and the only problems that we got on the paper is that the rear handbrake is slightly too loose, so we need to just tighten it. And the emissions, they couldn't check the emissions on the car because at the moment the engine was running bad. It was like stuttering, dying and stuff like that. As you saw in the last clip, I could barely get home. And the reason for that was a faulty crankshaft sensor, I think at least. Barely got home, the engine kept on switching off randomly. When I read the codes was for the crankshaft position sensor. And when I read the live data, the engine runs and then suddenly it loses the connection with the sensor, and then the value disappears. It just drops straight to zero, and then the engine dies. And after I parked the car outside and I couldn't even start it, the sensor was not working at all, so I had to push the car inside. So now I replaced it with a second-hand one. It sits on the side of the engine, so on this side I barely could reach my hand up there. Not possible to film. And the engine seems to be running as it should now. Now I want to change the oil real quick. You can see the oil is pretty damn clean. New filter. There was an ABS problem, so the ABS code kept coming on, and it was rear right wheel. So I replaced a ABS sensor, and now it seems pretty good. I drove it, tested it, no lights on the dash, no codes. And there was also an engine code, well, not an engine code, a code in the ECU, and what it was is the fan. So this fan was not working, it just wasn't spinning. And then when the car would idle for a long time standing in one place, it would start overheating. So like reach up to 120 Celsius. Now we can see, well, now it's not spinning, but it was spinning earlier, and there's no code anymore. This thing I just pulled out of this other car that we have laying around. So now we'll drive the car for a while, test it, and see how it runs. I need to test it properly before I can put it out for sale, because I mean, it's been standing for the past 3 years. It hasn't been driven properly. So here's the car right now. I washed it, I cleaned the inside. I have driven so far 500 kilometers and it's performing flawlessly. No problems, nothing. So now I cleaned the interior and I did put it out for sale. So at this point, I did sell the E92 recently, the E92 from the last video. After the tax and fees, we sold it for around 100,000 krones, which is like 9,000 euros maybe. So this is a super good profit. So now I have put this thing out. So now this car, we bought it for 7,000 krones, of course, and we put in it around 5,000. So we're around 13,000 now. Krones. And for an E90 with this mileage, that's a super good price. And we will see how much we managed to get for it, because it is pretty good mileage. The E90, it's finished. So at this point, I have bought a third car of the challenge. And the car is this, an F30. So F30 316i with the notorious N13 engine, which is not even BMW, it's a Peugeot / BMW engine. So now I have some clips of us picking the car up, so I'll show them to you guys now.
Beautiful. Jaké pekné auto, že? Za 40 000 norských. Takých 3 500 eur. Look at this camera. Wow, cool stuff. Yo, yo!
This is the car, BMW F30 316i. We bought this car for 38,000 Norwegian krones and the engine is completely dead. It does have life. The mileage is 212,000 kilometers right now and we can try to start it. So the problem with this car is that it has a loss of compression in multiple cylinders. I have already checked the compression off camera and here are the results. So a few of the cylinders has absolutely zero compression. We have 2 sets of tires, pretty good winter tires. Summer tires also quite good. Electric trunk. The license plates. Overall, the car looks pretty good, except for the side skirt. The side skirt has some damage, so we'll need to replace that. But other than that, the car looks nice. There could be a few reasons for zero compression. Reason number 1 is that there could be something wrong with the valves or timing, making the valves not close at the compression stroke, and that will cause zero compression. Or the cylinder walls are scored, causing zero compression. Since we measured the compression and it was so uneven, some cylinders were just low, some were completely zero, I think it's gonna be scored cylinders because I have seen other cases of N13 engines being scored. But before we pull the engine out, I think it's smart to check the timing. If the timing is good, then I think we're in a world of trouble. So now we need to get this thing all the way across here, around here and into the garage. What car is that? Nope, can't show you guys. Secret. When you're fixing a car for the first time, it can be kind of tricky when you're undoing stuff for the first time. Like with these plastics, you don't know how they sit. But that's not the first F30. We have had an F30 on the channel. Or wait, is the wagon's F31 or is it also just F30? Let's go. So to remove the valve cover, when I was checking the compression, I also removed one of the crankshaft position sensors, one of these things, and I cranked the engine over to see if maybe the timing chain is broken. So the chain is not broken, because I could see it spinning when I was cranking the engine. And I see there is some red paint here, so that tells me they probably removed the valve cover. because I bought this car from a kid and his uncle is a mechanic and he said he did take a look on the car and he said problem is low compression. Let's remove the earbox. These pipes, they always snap. Okay, did not snap. I snapped it the last time. All this is oil that just dripped out of the filter. Or well, not the filter, the PCV pipe. So that is actually kind of bad news, because if there's a bunch of oil in the PCV system, because that tells me that there's a lot of positive crank pressure inside the engine. And where does that come from? Well, in this case, probably because of the worn piston rings, or probably because of cylinder wall scoring. I mean, nothing broken, everything looks good. I should get a camera, the endoscope or what they call it. I had to go back and read a bit on the timing of these engines. I didn't remember. The way these engines are timed is these special tools. They slide over the camshafts. And the lobes on the cylinder number 1 is supposed to look outwards. So these ones this way, these ones this way. That's what they're doing. However, the N13 engine doesn't set the timing at TDC. It says the timing at the piston on every cylinder is halfway down or halfway up then. So now I put this on, the lobes are looking the correct way. And now the piston should be at exactly the same position on all 4 of the cylinders. And now using the screwdriver, I can see that it's touching the piston. It's touching the piston, it's touching the piston, yeah. So the timing is correct of the engine, so most likely the engine has just massive damage on the cylinder walls. Just so mortar doesn't fall into the engine. So we just need to pull this entire thing out. There's no need to waste any time, because if this engine is repairable, it anyway requires pulling it out. Charge pipe out. One more charge pipe. Now there's not much left at the top. Oh yeah! I'm just drying it off so it doesn't drip on my face. That is the starter out. We need to remove the starter in order to get access to the torque converter bolts. I forgot about the AC compressor. It should come off now, and it did. So the thing is hanging right here. This is the infamous thermostat housing that we had to replace on the last car. Or not the last car, but the previous N13. The red 1 series that we did. And this thing, yeah. The electric pulley that engages the water pump. What not to love about that? The engine is not bad, but it's leaking at the valve cover, the oil pan. But the turbo doesn't feel bad. no play, nothing. So I already put the thing outside, because before we start fixing it, I want to clean the engine bay, because the engine bay is definitely not the cleanest one. If you want to support this channel, make sure to check out my Patreon, it's in the description. In the next video, I hope we will have sold the E90. As I said, for this car we paid 38,000 kroners, which is like 3.3 thousand euros, which is decent for this kind of car. And let's hope this car brings us one step closer to the M5. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next one.